Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. We are still working on getting North Peru annexed, and I'm realizing that I've got a bunch of influence available. So, we're already improving relations with Russia. Relations with Austria are as good as they can be. Let's start improving relations with Prussia. And France. And we'll try to get our relations with the European powers generally back up to snuff here. I'm also realizing we've got a big ol' shortage of ammunition in our market, and that's actually going nowhere fast. We've got another production method for our artillery foundry, so we'll go ahead and pop that. And then we'll do... I'm just going to double the size of the munitions plants in Rio de Janeiro for the moment. In fact, we'll triple the size. Private sector is not building them. We'll put the slow-building iron mines down below to get those started out. Shouldn't cause a problem with this war, but could very well be an issue, and it is costing us a pile of cash. As you can see, our maximum gold reserve has gone way up. We're at 4.6 now, and that's just down to the drastic increase in the size of GDP. So I'm pretty pleased about that. Looks like nobody's interested in intervening in the Ecuadorian Civil War except for us, Ecuador's overlord. So that shouldn't be shocking. I'm feeling pretty confident overall in our capabilities on that side. Bureaucracy is still pretty rough. I only increased investment by 1 level, didn't I? No, I did 2. That was dumb. And they're both almost ready to go. So we'll build 1 more level of bureaucracy each in all 3 of these areas, including Pernambuco. And that'll be nice. We'll go ahead and pull these iron mines down to the bottom, and we'll intersperse the government bureaucracies with the munition plants. Everything the government needs: ammunition and filing cabinets. So this should be good to go now. Perfect. And this territory is annexed. Excuse me. Is this war going to happen? There's no front. Perfect. And we got another law advancement result. Alright, so I'm going to put these 2 armies back here. I guess it was just taking a second to sort itself back out. But they should be good to go now. And there's law enforcement as well. Alright, and there's the peasant revolt popping off, just as predicted. So do we have these areas incorporated? We do not. So let's go ahead and get them started being incorporated. They're going to take forever, including Pastaza, which apparently... only has Amazonian as a homeland. And so it's going to take 21 years to incorporate. I did not realize that. Well, that sure is a bit of a headache, but it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Relations with France are not great. Well, relations with none of the European powers are truly good, but, you know, we're working on it. We're doing our best. We got an army. Let me see, we got some line infantry that need to be upgraded. No artillery. So we'll just close this out. They're just going to go to the 3rd Brazilian army. And that should... I'm actually going to wait until these line infantry finish upgrading themselves. Never mind. They're gone. Alright, now we'll send this army to the 3rd Brazilian army, and that should be good to go. Gosh, these areas have pretty high turmoil. Hopefully that'll get sorted out. Oh my goodness, we got an infrastructure issue. We really have infrastructure issues in all of them. So let's go ahead and queue in some railroads. 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here that's going to take forever. Oh no, there is one already operating here. It just doesn't have the ability to function. We're going to go ahead and normalize production methods. And I'm incorporating all three of those states already. The brave engineer. A railroad accident in Pernambuco has narrowly avoided heavy fatalities due to the quick thinking of the train's engineer who perished in the crash. Only a few people died, but the wreckage will still take some time to clear. Come all you rounders if you want to hear a story all about a brave engineer. Thank goodness for the quick thinking engineer, -5 infrastructure. Or a railman should get more than a song for dying on the job. I'm going to do the second one. We're going to strengthen the trade unions just a bit. And hopefully that will prove beneficial to us in the long run. Bourgeois revolt in Hanover, not super concerned about this. Something going on over here. Bastar. Britain's going after Bastar. Oh no, this is in India. Thought it was in Africa for some reason. And I've made dumber errors before. I really feel like Lady Statistics is just wreaking havoc with us over here. Just absolutely mocking me. Alright, there's the Ecuadorian peasant revolt. So what's Ecuador's chance to accept? They're still at only 3% to accept annexation, which is not making me feel confident. And I wish I could be confident because I don't like this situation. I can't improve relations with Peru-Bolivia because they just... Their relations are neutral. They're -5. Heck. Do they have anyone helping them out? Not really. So here's hoping I can get to annex them in good order. We are building up the government bureaucracy here as well. We got one government admin under construction already. This is... The AI always seems to have some government admin under construction. I think the... Okay, but how much of this is real income? 70,000 of it is not. United States, if you're so freaking mad at me, why are you still giving me money? Wow, America's gotten really, really infamous. They're going to need to chill. I hope they don't. I don't think they're going to be able to get actually genuinely aggressive with me because I think they're going to need to chill. We got a truce with Peru-Bolivia for another 7 months, so that's about the middle of 82 is when we'll be able to actually get scrappy with them. Truce with Colombia for another 19 months. Truce with Venezuela for another 3 years. So, let's get to work on Ecuador. Before we do that, though, let's just take a look at where we are. We're still only at about 55% with atheism. It's slowed down significantly. And in part, I think that there's... I think conversion speed is based on the size. Like, I think once you're a minority, you convert slower. Hey! Finally we got a success. Whew! It's been forever. Interventionism. Forever. Stall chance is really high because the size of our anti-interventionist movement is just bananas strong. We've had so many. Look at all these. Look at all these. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. These various stall and advanced chance results coming over, and it's just been a giant headache. Alright. I'm going to go for this. 6.4 infamy, but we're at 0. They are going to fight. We'll mobilize the armies, and we'll really hope that we don't have any countries deciding they want to get in on this, when realistically the best thing would be for nobody to get in on this. Thankfully we only have one front, and hopefully they don't end up getting split some kind of way. Once again, we could get Britain in on this. Looks like nobody's particularly interested except for the United States, but they don't look particularly interested either, really. So I'm cautiously optimistic about this situation. I know I'm going very aggressive with this, but it's got to be done. Munitions plants are still getting built. Hopefully those get online. Let's go ahead and put the railways above the iron mines. Of course, these are going to take forever. No, let's do the iron mines first, because they're not going to take forever. And force comparison is looking okay. Oh, but our armies actually haven't arrived yet. Alright, force comparison is looking much better now. No one's getting involved. I'm very pleased about that. We're once again in the red financially, but that's actually not that big of a deal. So once this gets done, we can grab Peru-Bolivia, and that will finally make things just totally, totally chill, hopefully, in our area. Chill neighbors in your area want to get involved in a war on your side. Click here today. Oh my gosh, I would click so hard. I would completely fall for that. I would totally get fished by people being like, what if Chile wanted to join your faction? Chile's got a real army over here. Yeah, they do. Maybe not a high-tech one, but definitely a large one. Argentina can conscript a large force. Both of these countries have a GDP about a tenth of the size of mine, though. So I think if we got into a war, I could probably win through just sheer weight of just the overall size of the economy. The market's doing pretty rough in terms of ammunition, although it's not as bad as it could be. Here's an ultimatum. I'm going to do the same thing I always do with this. Didn't get my enactment chance. But here's the thing about that. Oh my gosh, I completely lost my train of thought. I was determined not to lose my train of thought, getting distracted with the interventionism thing, and I did not. I was not successful. Whew. All right, there's one state. Here's another. Oh, I was talking about ammunition in the market. So the reason I'm not increasing my ammunition output, even to accommodate the size of my armed force beyond what I've already done, is because once we get dynamite researched, which I am going to queue in after vulcanization. Oh no, that's going to spread to me automatically. And not too long, truthfully. Once we got that researched, we're going to unlock a new production method for those munitions plants. That's going to be, like, increase their output by 15% or something like that. Alright, so this war should be done in relatively short order. And then once it is, I can go on and grab Peru-Bolivia. And assuming neither of my existing North Andean puppets decide to fight me on that, which I don't think they can, actually, we should be good to go with Peru-Bolivia as well. Annex. Beautiful. Alright, so let's get... Pastaza's already incorporating. And Ecuador, let's get incorporating. We'll go ahead and reset production methods. Oh, Cajamarca, we need to incorporate. Oh, we're already incorporating that. Alright, beautiful. Beautiful. So, and it looks like turmoil in these areas is going down a little bit, which is always nice to see. Radicals are super duper high, especially everywhere outside our core territory, which I'm not super psyched about. Can't we... Hold on. Those prices seemed really, really high, particularly for services. Wow, services prices are really high all across our... Hold on. We need to go to market squares. That's what we need to do. We need to produce way more services. Yes, I know. Public trams, too. Maybe even gas streetlights. Let's do it. It's going to cost us a little bit of coal, but I don't think that much. Oh, we don't have any glass. Let's get some from China. That was really smart of me. Let's go ahead and build ourselves a glassworks. Basho, Paraguay is a good place for some glassworks. We'll build 3 levels. We'll build 4 levels, and actually, we'll start with them. We've got lead in the market, so we'll have them making crystal glass, and we'll have them making, let me see, with these methods, 15 and 55. All right, so that's, can't do bone china, but I can do ceramics, 50 and 20. And that's civilizing mission. So now we have the ability, once we've gotten Colombia annexed, to actually get started on surveilling that canal. Brazil is a vast and fortunate land, though it is sparsely populated. We must look beyond the seas, particularly to troubled Europe, for potential settlers to work our fields and factories. The federal government will encourage European immigration, and it will not restrict, limit, or burden with any taxes the entrance into Brazilian territory of foreigners who come with the goal of working the land, improving the industries, and teaching the arts and sciences. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses. 25% migration attraction. Excellent. Wish this had popped off when I was not still incorporating territories. Or we're doing fine on our own, we don't do it. I'm going to do it. So we have one possible action. So let's go ahead and actually, I should read both of these journal entries as long as we're chilling. But let's do Desperate Allies first. The proposal for interventionism is set at a deadlock. The industrialists have advocated for enlisting Juscelino Bernardes' assistance in rallying the rural folk in favor of the government. There, upon the cusp of a division, everyone sees that nobody has a majority yet. One by one it dawns on them. The loose cannons, led by the most rabid dog of the bunch, have the votes they need, but who among them will be the first to climb off their ivory tower to win their favor? Make overtures to the undecided, stronger rural folk, extra enactment chance, slander the opposition to oblivion, reduce popularity for both of our agitators, 10% enactment chance, or forge ahead without them we can win, reduce enactment chance, much stronger industrialists. I'm going with the first one. Let's do it. Commander commands civic coalition. General Marquez, who is a reformer, has made public statements in support of the Conservative Party, bringing into question the political neutrality of the military. It is my duty to defend the nation and its interests. Politics is as much a part of war as battles and logistics are. I don't see the problem with my doing my duty and doing what I can to make sure those who are best fit to protect the nation end up being the ones in charge. He can say what he wants, extra momentum for the Conservatives, reprimand him. Good soldiers don't give orders, they take them. 5% of officer pops in Brazil become radical. Or, if Marquez likes politics so much he ought to get more involved, he becomes the leader of the armed forces. I'm going to make him the leader of the armed forces. That's going to help. It's going to put the armed forces in the command of a reformer, which will hopefully make things easier for the country down the line. Alright, so I was going to read you these events and then kick off a war with Peru-Bolivia. So, exploiting the Amazon. While rubber and its properties have long been known to us, traditionally its uses have been limited, and consequently commercial demands have been low. However, with the Industrial Revolution in full swing and new uses for rubber being found by the week, calls for increased production have soared. Steps must be taken to transform the Amazon from an inhospitable jungle into an intensely developed land capable of meeting the demands of commerce. We'll complete if all Brazilian states have their state trait upgraded to exploited Amazon rainforest. So in order to do this, they need to have a level 2 urban center and 10 levels of rubber plantations. And then to get the final one, they need a level 4 urban center and 15 levels of rubber plantations. So we need to produce an absolute metric ton of rubber to make this happen. Then there's populating the Americas. Our South American incorporated population is 12.7 million. Our target is 37 million. Brazil is a vast and fortunate land, although it is sparsely populated. We must look beyond the seas, particularly to troubled Europe, for potential settlers to work our fields and our factories. We'll complete if our South American incorporated states have met our target population, 37.5 million. If completed, triggers the event multitudinous and gives Brazil the populated nation buff permanently, 25 prestige. I can promote European migration. By offering generous grants of land and guarantees of work, we can promote our nation as a prime location for our European cousins to settle. If we've not used this action in the last 5 years, we can do it. We need a standard of living of 10 or greater, which we do have. Any country that's in Europe that shares our state religion has an average of standard of living below ours and has at least a primary culture that can migrate to Brazil, and has at least 3 incorporated states in Europe. We need any Brazilian state to be an eligible mass migration target, and we need to have either multiculturalism, cultural exclusion, or racial segregation enacted without having closed borders or isolationism. Effects gets an authority penalty and an influence penalty. Triggers event to come to Brazil, and creates a migration target with our nation and its destination. I'm not going to do that quite well. I could do. It would be good, huh? I suspect when we reformed our urban centers, that increased our standard of living by a lot. I would need to repeal a consumption tax, though. So let's leave it be for the time being. And we'll go ahead and annex Peru-Bolivia. They're not going to accept, but that's okay. 5th Brazilian Army. We can... There's just 2 units of shrapnel artillery. We put those in the 4th Brazilian Army, no problem. The 2nd Brazilian Fleet we'll put into the Armada Nacional. And then we'll mobilize the armies. Once again, we're going to put our largest army on the other side, on the far area, and our tertiary army there as well, and our primary army on what feels like it should be the main area in Peru-Bolivia. So, let me see, where are we? Oh, we got plenty of time left in the episode. That should be just fine. Belgium sides with Great Britain over something else. Liberal revolts in the Cape Colonies. I will say, our armed forces have gotten pretty sturdy at this point. We are still increasing the size of government admin. Let's go ahead and do a little bit more of that. We've got our new port method, but I'm not going to pop that off quite yet. Let's see, 8, 2 in Pernambuco, and 1 in Mirador should be enough. And we got a whistle-stop tour. Now, Silviano Marques, of the armed forces, intends to travel across Goiás by train to campaign for the Conservative Party. All I intend to do is present myself to the people. I'm not just a simple man trying to get our party's message. I'm just a simple man trying to get our party's message out by the best means available. Campaigning by rail is a smart move, 10% momentum, or it'd be a shame if they kept suffering delays. I'm going to do the second one to rob them of some momentum, once again keeping the Conservative Party's momentum really low. Let me see. This election will pop off in 28 days, and maybe, just maybe, by then we'll have interventionism, and then I can boot the industrialists out of the government. Public address goes awry. Gosh darn it. What was meant as a routine speech about the merits of interventionism by Umberto Labatut has quickly devolved into a public relations disaster for the industrialists. Fumbling his way through a series of poorly presented talking points, Umberto Labatut's arguments have been viciously and convincingly picked apart by his political opponents. The question on everyone's lips now is merely if this mishap was due to the inherent failings of interventionism, or can be chalked down to the political incompetence of the industrialists. I can't scrap the current draft and make a show of a rewrite because I've already got one setback and we've got a 45% stall chance. If I say it's the fault of this poorly thought out proposal, that's minus 15% enactment chance, but I can get only minus 10% enactment chance if I weaken Labatut and the industrialists. I'm going to go with that middle one. And we're just going to have to deal with the consequences. Nobody is coming to Peru-Bolivia's aid, mostly because they would need to naval invade me if they did. And now, we remain firmly in control of the government. Improved relations processes with our friends in Europe are increasing. Moving at a good clip. Hopefully none of these countries have their governments overthrown and become my enemy suddenly. Austria is once again wary, despite the excellence of our relations. I'm still kind of sad about that, but it is what it is. Population is continuing to increase. GDP is going way up. 2 arms. Shortage of glass. I did build... I queued in some glassworks, but I didn't get building them, so we'll move a few of those up above to get those built. I know I'm putting off some railways, which are very important, but I need to get... I gotta have my glass. So I think we're going to win this war. I don't have... There we go. There's a one battle. There's probably another one battle. Yeah, this one's up in the mountains, and the enemy is fleeing. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. And Western Front is almost completely sorted out. Eastern Front is slowly but steadily progressing. The enemy's stuck in the mud. Now they're fleeing. Wonderful. This battle is tighter than it could be, but hey, there's dynamite. Beautiful. Alright, so now we're going to move our explosives factories over to vacuum evaporation. Munitions plants over to explosive shells. Let's see if we can... Alright, so we're a little bit heavy... We're a little bit short on lead, but we can get more by increasing the amount of explosives we use. And we can build some more lead mines in Rio Grande do Sul to increase our overall capabilities. And now I'm just going buck wild here with these various construction projects, which is silly, but it is what it is. Finally! There's interventionism. Alright, I still have the ability to shuffle up the government, so let's get these industrialists out of here. I do want the rural folk in here with me. They're a good party to have in government, but I'm going to get... Oh, wow, actually... I need to keep the free trade party in here. Interesting. I had no idea. I thought the intelligentsia were really clinching it, but apparently not. Alright, well, never mind then. There's a movement to enact debt slavery. Oh, City of Plenty. The most prominent members of Minas Gerais high society have been seen organizing luxurious parties in the new and lavish urban buildings. Marble walls, shimmering stone, the noise of people coming and going brings the city back to life when we didn't even know that it was dead. Tall buildings cover the sunset, kids play with bricks. Smoke blends with the clouds, and a distant bell announces the next train. Progress is coming. Let them celebrate. 10% of upper stratum and middle stratum pops more loyalist, or the party will never end. 25%, but their expected standard of living for the upper strata will increase by 3. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to look at Minas Gerais. We're going to look at the population here. The upper strata is wealthy, 40.6. Their minimum expected is 19. I can definitely bet on that. The party will never end. That's a very good event to have. Alright, let's get this war sorted out. In this situation, these guys should lose their pro-slavery ideology. We have not had slavery in like 20 years. More than that, I think. I think we ended it in like the 1860s or the 1850s or something. There's conscriptable battalion. There's enlistment offices. That's nice. So, Accra is an unincorporated territory. We'll incorporate that. La Paz is an unincorporated territory. We'll incorporate that. Ica is already incorporated. Amazonas is already incorporated. And that's all of the states. So, alright, feeling pretty good about that. Going to go ahead and reset our production methods. These two states. Hardwood production, hardwood production, hardwood production. Yeah, we're going to do that. And let me just make sure I didn't completely goof myself up on wood. I did not. So that's pretty good. Alright. So things are looking pretty solid. I might be about to make a mistake, but I think I'm going to increase the size of the construction sectors, friends. We inherited a construction sector over here in La Paz, and I'm going to build one there, and then I'm going to put 2 in Pacho, Paraguay. I'm not going to go too crazy with it, but I am going to increase these. And then we got another army. We'll go ahead and upgrade the mobile artillery to shrapnel artillery, and that'll be fine. And now we have inefficient agriculture. The industrialists have started complaining about the existence of subsistence farms in Para, stating that their undeniable inefficiency should be immediately addressed. The fertile soil of our people suffers, relegated to tired and calloused hands. Callous hands. Too exhausted from manual labor to perform at a decent level. Too poor to be able to use more advanced tools that would make them more profitable. This industry is just a useless investment. We should follow their advice. I don't want radical upstart and pops. They serve our purposes. The industrialists are very pleased with us overall, so I'm not too concerned about that. Raising concerns. The rural folk express their concerns about the government decisions clearly favoring the interests of the industrialists. Choosing is always hard, not because the decision is a bit difficult to make, but because the consequences can be inconvenient. Rumors are spreading like smoke from a factory, staining the clear air of Brazil with a dense and vicious poison. This needs to be addressed. Rural folk happier, industrialists mad, or they need to accept we cannot always please everyone. I'm going to do the first one. I want happy rural folk. I think if they're over 6, they're going to leave this movement. And I think, perfect. All right, so that means this movement is managed. It's actually causing very little radicalization now that it's only the landowners, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. Yeah, we had big increases in numbers of radicals, but they're going down now, and I'm feeling pretty good about that. We're also working on incorporating these territories, and that's making me more optimistic about the future. So, we're getting these lead mines built. That's very good. We're actually not spending all that much more on construction. So how much of the construction budget is the investment pool covering? Not close to half, truly. If we're being honest with ourselves, it's still pretty rough. But, you know, we're doing our best here. We're also, once again, a little low on bureaucracy. I've got a few government admins that I had queued in. That's just going to kind of be what it is. Let me see if I can get one side of Costa Rica or the other to be my vassal. No. Sad. A tragedy, really. I might... Once I get these glassworks built up, I might actually get myself a few more... some bad export routes. This import route for glass is still productive, which is good, but it will probably stop being once we get to the end of the year and we've got another level of glassworks being built. Italy and America are no longer rivals. I'm not super stoked about that. I am good friends with Italy. I'm continuing to be good friends with all the European powers, and I'm hoping that works. I can't rival the Netherlands because they're minor, nor Belgium. I'd love if I could have them as a puppet, but I can't. Brazilian naval power is still increasing. We're at 34.5%. We need to have this for 40 years. Rubber discovered in Pastaza. This is an event that's going to fire 1 million times in this run. If you've watched my other runs, you will know this is not new. So I'm just going to go ahead and read this one time, and then we'll stop reading it. Rubber has been successfully grown in Pastaza. The fragile nature of these trees and their difficult-to-meet conditions make this achievement exceptionally important. The Amazonian rubber monopoly... Excuse me? The Amazonian rubber monopoly? The Amazonian rubber monopoly can't be over. Pastaza is... Well, I don't know that it's in Amazonia, but I mean, it is the Amazon. I don't know what you're talking about. The Swedish rubber monopoly is finally over. Those beautiful trees have decided to grow elsewhere after multiple unsuccessful attempts, those stubborn little things, and now it is our duty to end those greedy tycoons' empires. This place seems to be the most effective. So we got rubber there, and once we got vulcanization, that's going to really help. So what do we want from a production perspective after that? I think after that, we need reinforced concrete, and then I think steel frame buildings is going to be the play. So we're going to need to knock out... Postal savings will probably be done by then, so we'll just queue this right in. Then we'll tolerate the fact that we don't have labor movement and the corresponding increase in innovation cost that steel frame buildings will take, because, gosh darn it, we absolutely need steel frame buildings in order to be able to grow our economy at an acceptable rate. We are still at our innovation cap. Let me just do some quick and dirty math here. And so here we are. Here's 50. Here's like 30. 36. 36. Ugh. Math. 40. 42. 54. 65. 75 and like 70 and change. All right, so we're close to capacity. So we will need to do more later, but we're doing pretty well. All right, it is the end of 1883, and that means that it's the end of the episode. We've annexed quite a few of our puppets. We are moving towards a full hegemony over South America. I'm feeling pretty pleased about that. Otherwise, everything is chill. And that is it for tonight. So I've had fun. I hope you all have had fun as well. And I will see you on the other side.